No, Pottery. Tip and tips. I can't kiss you. I don't do. Like and subscribe. And watch the video. I'm ready. You go. And this week's tip and tips. We cover tapcentering.
So I have a bunch of different pieces we can practice on. First one is you'd want a plastic bowl. These ones work the best because if they fly off, odds are they won't break. You can also use already made ceramic bowls that you've made, granted that they are throne centered. And then finally practicing on your actual piece you want to trim once you get the hang of it. So the first one you want to practice on is a plastic bowl. And the way the tap centering works, you basically turn the wheel, you spin it, and you tap the bowl until it's centered. So the mechanics of it is you place your left hand on the top, and that applies downwards force. So when you tap it, it doesn't go flying off. And your right hand will be tapping the bowl into center. Now, this is one of the harder techniques to learn when you're starting out. But once you understand how it works, you can center your piece when you need to trim in a much shorter amount of time. So I'm going to purposely put it off center. And you want to take a look at the concentric rings on the pottery wheel in relationship to the rim of your piece. And the way I like doing it is I place my left hand on top, just a point using my pointer finger, and I'm counting every time my piece hits my finger. So I do a 1-2 count. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And every time it hits 1, I want to hit the piece to make it go towards the center. So it looks something like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then as it gets closer, I just keep that same rhythm. You can count it in your head, and you just keep tapping it until the piece is centered and it doesn't look like it's moving in and out of this concentric line. So this is where I'm looking at with my eyes. I keep tapping. And right there, that looks pretty centered. Okay, so let's try again. And right there, once again, centered. So just keep practicing this, and over time, you'll learn how much to hit and how much to apply downwards pressure. So once again, put it off center, spin the wheel, put your finger down on the top, and tap every time it hits that section where it touches your right hand. And then just keep practicing that, and when you get a little more confident, put it close to being center, spin the wheel, and then tap it off center, and then work your way to get it to center. Okay, once again, tap it off center, and then now practice tapping it to center. And then just keep playing around with it. The more confident you get, the easier it will be, and then you can move on to your final piece. So that's practicing with the plastic bowl. Once you get pretty confident with this, we can move on to either a glazed ceramic bowl or a bisque ceramic bowl. Granted that they are throne centered. So we'll try the bisque and do that same technique. Okay, right there, centered. with the glaze piece. So this time when I'm looking at it, the rim might actually be off. So I'm looking at the foot in this case. So keeping that count, the 1, 2, 1, 2, until I get it centered. Right there, looks pretty centered. And one thing to keep in mind, the closer it is to being centered, the lighter I need to tap. Okay? And once you're getting pretty confident, you can tap center fairly quickly. Move on to your actual piece. Now, when you move on to your actual piece, you have to remember, if your clay is really soft and you tap center, you might dent it. If it's too dry and you tap center, you may crack it. So you want to make sure your clay is at good trimming consistency, and you don't want to purposely put it really off center, because you're going to have to tap it a lot more to get it to center. So you still want to try to center it as best as possible using your eyeballs where the concentric ring is closest to the rim. You spin the wheel, and then you tap until it looks more or less centered. So right there, one tap, we're good to go. But for demo purposes, let's put it off center. Tap. And right there, center. All right, so to recap, start off with a plastic bowl. Flip it upside down. Purposely put it off center quite a bit to get it more extreme so you can practice the technique. Left hand applies downwards pressure, and you are tapping every time the piece comes around to hit the most off center portion, where that is my pointer finger touching the bowl. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. As you get closer to center, start tapping it a little later, but still keep the count. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right there. Slightly off, so I can tap it a little more. So just find where it's off. And right there, center. Okay. So that is tap centering. And like I said, practice on something that doesn't break or has less chances of breaking. Get a hang of it. And once you get confident in this, try it on your actual ceramic piece.
If you want to see anything neck, comment below. And like this, like and subscribe for more videos coming soon.